Welcome to Kids Express.
Join us as we see kids express their love for Jesus
while developing their character.
on Kids Express!
Welcome to 3ABN Kids Express. Today we are going to meet a young lady who loves to reach out to others through her music, but desires to put all her energy into making a difference in everything she does and to shine brightly for Jesus. I'm Aunt Francine.
And I'm Izhar. Can you guess where today's guest speaker comes from? If you guessed Michigan, you're correct. Let's welcome Elizabeth.
Hi, Elizabeth.
Hello.
Wow, you have something. What are these, cherries?
Yep.
Oh, have you ever been to Traverse City?
No, I haven't,
You haven't?
but I've heard a lot about
And
it.
I like getting my cherries at Traverse City. Actually, I buy them and I make like granola mix out of them. But I love cherries as a snack. They're a healthier snack for you, even though they're sweet. So tell us about Michigan.
Well, Michigan is a very beautiful state, and I love the fact that it has 4 seasons, so we get to experience winter, spring, summer, and fall. And also, my favorite part of Michigan is the fact that we have many state parks, actually over 100. And Mackinac Island is one of my favorites as well. It has one of like the best or like the most known features about it is that there are no cars and it's actually just horses and bikes. So we go there. I've been there a few times. So we go there with my family and it's just a really beautiful place to visit.
It is beautiful, and I remember the fudge too. I like
yeah.
horses and I like the fudge, and then just walking everywhere. It's very peaceful over there, not hearing all those cars. You're right.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of interesting things, and I think when we talk about Michigan, we say Michiganders, like you're from Michigan, so I'm actually from Michigan. I grew up there too, so we call ourselves Michiganders.
Yeah.
And then you're like from the Oopers.
Well, I'm from the bottom, so
And
we
the
call them trolls.
Trolls,
Yeah.
yeah. So wherever we are, this is my favorite part about Kids Express. Do you find it interesting too about learning how people are sharing Jesus?
Yes.
I think it is. Let's talk about sharing Jesus. What are you doing to witness for Jesus in your community there in Michigan?
Well, I participate a lot in VBS and also Christmas programs. We also, I sing and play piano sometimes, as well as play my violin. That's kind of my favorite one. And like for VBS, we do a lot of we just share Jesus through programs and stuff like that. That's kind of what I mostly help out with. And also like in church, just with like other little things and Sabbath school sometimes. So yeah.
Yeah, you have your hands busy. I mean, you're very active. So what do you do for VBS?
Well, setting up is a big process,
It
obviously, and my family spends hours at church
Okay.
just setting up, and also like playing my violin and just music in general, and like also the plays. I'm part of the plays. That's kind of my favorite also, and also just like everything is honestly like a great experience.
So you do skits as well? Is that what you're
Yes.
saying? Very nice, very nice. Now you said something about making like a concert for another country.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
I think February it was, we had in church fundraising program that we did. Well, my dad's from Ukraine, so it's really kind of a big thing for our family. So we got together with a bunch of our like Russian friends and Ukrainian friends, and we created a program where I was one of the hosts and I also played my violin. And we ended up raising up a very decent amount of money, which all went towards the families and children in need in Ukraine.
Wow, that's powerful. And I like how you incorporated the Russians and Ukrainians, because when we have the love of Jesus, it doesn't matter where you're from. You want the love of Jesus, and so it's not like we're picking sides. You just want to help the people that are in need, and I appreciate that you're willing to do that. Do you have a comment or question for Elizabeth? No, not yet. Okay. So another part of Kids Express that we like talking about, you seem to have it all together. You seem like you're very busy in everything. So tell us what's one character trait that you feel like you can be more like Jesus in wanting to grow to be like him.
So one thing I want to work on for myself is just being able to be more responsive to when God provides an opportunity for me to share Jesus, because oftentimes I find myself being too tired or just not motivated enough to, just go do what God is calling me to do. And I just think that if I were more responsive to that, it would make my relationship with God better.
So what do you usually do when you're feeling unmotivated?
Well, it's kind of a hard one because obviously you want to just like sleep or, be lazy on the couch. But I think that, I found this method that's actually like kind of like weird, but it's like when you're just lazy, you just say 3, 2, 1, and then you get up and you go do it, because otherwise you're just never going to do it. You're going to procrastinate. That's also what I struggle with. But when you keep procrastinating, it's not really giving you any benefit. So I just find myself that if you go do it and you get over with it, it's just easier.
There's times when we're really tired and it's appropriate to take a time to relax and regroup. And even Jesus was talking about that. But I like how you said, you don't want to miss that opportunity, and is to know when is it appropriate to say no, because, we need to set boundaries every once in a while. We need to have that time and not feel guilty when you say, no, I don't want to do that. Hopefully your motivation is right. So how do you decide whether it's your motivation or if it's something that you really should take time and say no to relax?
Well, I think that you should know your own limits, and you know your body more than anybody else. So if you're really just at that point where you're just exhausted, and staying home and giving yourself time is better and more beneficial for you than actually going out and doing something, I think that's where you kind of have to decide yourself, because if you know yourself best, and rest is so important that you just, you can't skip it and just go do something when it's really that point where you have to figure it out,
Yeah, being a teenager like the both of you are, you find out that there's a lot of opportunities to do a lot of things, and it's easy to get burned out. I mean, you're trying to do schoolwork, you're trying to do a lot of things, and you realize that, you have to decide, yes, it's something I should be doing. This is what God would want me to do. But even if it's what God wants you to do and you do it, but your attitude doesn't show it, you know what I'm saying? It's almost more detrimental than if you hadn't done it in the first place. Sometimes you might negatively impact somebody if you witness to them at church, for example, and you have this bad attitude, and it shows on your face. I mean, have you noticed that?
And also just for people who aren't exactly, don't have that close relationship with God, often their only chance is like to see God through you. If you're not shining with Jesus' love, then people are going to look at you and say, oh, that's what a Christian is like? I don't want to be like that.
Yeah, that's right.
We do have to be careful of what our words say and even our actions and how we act. And that reminds me of Jesus. Jesus always had crowds of people around him, and yet he wanted to go away and have time with his Heavenly Father. So I think it's appropriate times that we have to regroup and have that right attitude of having the Spirit of Jesus. So sometimes it's okay to relax and recharge, right? And so how do we recharge? What kind of things do you do if you had to recharge? You realize that it's gone too far and you just don't want to do something. What's a healthy thing to do? What do you do?
Sleep.
Sleep? You're right. Teenagers need a lot of sleep. And that's okay. Sleep is good. And of course, I'm thinking of the Sabbath rest. Like, they say that people that are very productive are taking the Sabbath day and making it holy, and they find rest. They are rejuvenated and they live healthier because they have a day of worship. So that's appropriate. Now, for me, some of the time to recharge is actually having a devotion time. Just actually reading the Bible. Have you tried that too?
Yeah, I try to every morning.
Yeah.
And it just I notice that my day goes by a lot better, and it's just, it's really important to start your day off with Jesus, but also at the end of the day, if you have extra time it's always good to go back to the Bible and end your day with Jesus.
Yeah, extra time throughout the day, but then end the day, it's very important. You're right. Yeah. I think that's very important. And you know, sometimes it's okay to schedule to do nothing at all.
Yeah.
Have you ever done that?
It's kind of like God provided a whole day for us to just rest because he knew that it's important for us, and we can't survive without rest or sleep because it's just what a human needs, you know?
But even when you have a school day, for example, I'm thinking that even taking 15, 20 minutes to do nothing at all, like just to sit in your chair and maybe rock. My husband likes his rocking chair. He just likes to rock, and that's his thing to do, like do nothing at all but to think about the day. Or to think about God. And they say another thing that you can do to relax is take a bath. Do you like baths? I don't know. Boys don't. I don't know. Do you like baths?
Like a bath or a shower?
A bath.
My parents don't let me take baths.
Okay. But sometimes they say baths are nice, but even if you can't take a bath, some homes don't have a bathtub, for example. They say putting your feet in hot water is relaxing. So that's something that we can do. And, you know, sometimes when you realize that you're really don't know what to do and you need to relax, do you ever stretch? Do you find yourself stretching? I find Ginger, she likes stretching. Well, she's stretched out right there in her bed anyway. But, you know, stretching is another good activity that actually helps you relax and kind of re-energize yourself. And do you like snacks? They say healthy snacks like these cherries are good for you. So sometimes that might rejuvenate your energy to kind of say, hey, yeah, I want to try something else. Have you tried something like that? What do you like to? What's your thing that you go to?
Well, obviously sleep is my number one.
Yes.
But I also like to just, I don't know, pick a book or something. Or also take a walk. Yeah. I don't have a lot, well, because Michigan has very, many different, or weather, that's always all over the place. But if it's a nice day, just walking, even though it is considered exercise, sometimes can make you tired, but it's just a really good way to let go of everything and just spend time in nature.
And I think you made a very good point, because just being out in sunshine, even if it's a cloudy day, or the fresh air, does help you rejuvenate. I always feel better after a walk. And sometimes, it gives you that energy to just finish the assignment so you can go to bed, because otherwise sometimes you're just dragging things out. And they say things that you can also do. Do you like to doodle or color? Or
Yeah, kind of. I'm not too good, but...
But that also is another way of relaxing. So find something that you can do that relaxes you, and take time even every day. But the most important thing is, if you find out that you're finding so much to do and you feel guilty, sometimes we feel guilty that we want to do everything to please everybody. But your parents are your best advocate, right?
Right.
Your parents are your best advocate. So talk to your parents and say, Mom, I really want to do this, but I don't know what to do. And have your parents involved in helping you decide whether it's something that Jesus would want you to do, or maybe you need that downtime to relax. So I think it's time for a question. Do you have a question for today?
Yeah. This question comes from Nora in New York. She asks, how do I know I'm making the right decisions and that God is leading me? I can't hear his voice when I pray.
That's a really great question. In Matthew 11:28-30, Jesus tells us to come to him. He promises to give us rest because his burdens are light. We can make good decisions based on the principles found in his holy word and trust that he is leading us. Thank you so much for joining us on Kids Express, and we hope that you too at home can find rest in Jesus. So it's okay to tell Jesus everything. Thanks for joining us on
Kids Express!